It is 7:04. I'm going to go till 7:15 because I have birds that Little Grump, what are you doing? All right. So I learned that you're not allowed to talk factually. I know it's a weird lesson to learn this late in the game, but I learned that you're not allowed to talk factually about anything on here or have adult conversation and talk about your experiences. But everybody the fuck else can come on here and say whatever the fuck they want and show all the filth and tits and twats and everything, and it's okay, to show your 15-year-old daughter, a makeup tutorial to make her look like a drag queen. But I talk about something and I'm being factual about it, and it's like it's a problem, like I'm just so tired of being told what to say. And so anyways, I'm not trying to start this out aggressive, but that's kind of how I feel about that. So as you know, whatever the fuck happened with the Trump situation, I've been kind of like talking to people, just kind of gauging the thermometer readings on what people think about the situation. I'm gonna give this a 1 second thing and I'm gonna come right back. Hold on a second. Semper Fi, here we go. So I've been talking to just our regular civilian folks. Let me try to fix this glare. I don't know if it's possible to get my glare off my head. So I've been talking to people, just about the whole Trump situation, and just kind of coming at it with open, just kind of open ears. I want to hear what people's thoughts are about it and what they think went on. And there's a lot of people, okay, there's a lot of people just in everyday life that I've run into that definitely don't know what to make of it, and definitely think something sketchy has occurred. And I made a video on my Facebook. I kind of touched on it on a live video, and people pretty much know my thoughts. I don't remember. Welcome to our channel. In regard to privacy, I believe if you want to say hello on here, go ahead. I don't know if I believe the all messages there. Okay. Watching the Trump thing, I like I said in my last video, I really felt like it was a bad action movie. I'm not gonna really go crazy talking about that. But what I want to talk about is, you can't talk about things on here. Okay. Like I can't talk about, certain drugs that I've done that are not being used. They're being used to kill people. And, talking about my experience with a relapse, and, then they strike my video. But like I said, they show all kinds of fucking filth and everything else on here. And that shit's okay. But I give people some kind of like guidance on something, and it's a problem. How are you? Turn on my white trash porch light right here. I'm doing good. Just a little getting ready to rain. I got a neighbor that I kind of talked to about addiction and stuff, and he told me he had been in prison a couple of times, this, that, and the other thing. Let me grab mine. Kind of been to prison a few times, and he's struggling, he's trying to stay out, and I was just kind of giving him some guidance, and I know, like, he just got custody of his kid and this, that, and the other thing, and he is struggling, and sometimes, though, people want to hear a message. People want to hear a message. I don't want to hear a message from anybody that, you don't want to be snarky when you deliver the message, but I don't want people to deliver stuff to me with kid gloves on. So fast forward a couple days, I'm feeding the cats, and I notice it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's gone in my neighborhood to work usually. So there's no one outside ever. I think it was like a Sunday too. So there's nobody outside. And or a Saturday, and whatever. So long story short, Stone Cold. Never heard that one before. There's two people in front of his house knocking on the door, or one's like knocking on the window, which is just crackhead tweaker behavior. And the one person, he's a male, he's about 6'1", 6'2", disheveled, carrying a pop bottle of Pepsi with nothing in it, or a little bit of pop, and he's drinking it like a fucking hobo. And there's a female with him, and she looks like she doesn't look like she's doing the Lord's work, if you will. So I just said in my nice Mormon voice, I said, "Who are you guys looking for?" And they said the guy's name, and I said, "Well, he's not home. And, his car's gone, and you're rapping on his window loud enough that I can hear it, and the girl's like, "Why does it matter who we are?" And I said, "Well, it matters because, you're in my neighborhood and you're on my street. And, when I see things that look kind of sketchy, I get involved. I'm not one of the neighbors that, turns the TV up louder." And she kind of got this, like, attitude, like I was calling her out, which I was. And I said, "Listen, I'm not trying to be condescending, but if you were walking down the street and somebody was knocking on somebody's fucking window, and I'm not saying you're here to do harm, but it just looks kind of fucking weird, that you're knocking on his window, his car's not here. You don't look, you guys just don't look like, like my common sense and my radar is telling me that this isn't a good thing, whatever you're involved with. So, I would probably, move on." And so they told him, and so we had a conversation, and I said, "Well, listen, you told me that you had just gotten out of prison and that you're sober, but as I'm looking at you, you've got track marks, on your arm, so to me, you're struggling, and I'm just keeping it real with you. I've been there, you know what I mean? I'm not somebody that's just coming from their high horse And now that I'm sober, I'm projecting this like air of invincibility or dickheadedness. I'm saying, if you want to stay clean, you got to cut all the fucking losers out of your life. You know what I mean? You look so beautiful. Ha ha ha. I don't feel beautiful, but I'll take it. You know, people, places, and things in the sobriety realm, I would say in any realm, people, places, and things, you know, you are who, you know, I remember somebody telling me when I was a kid, you know, if, you know, I look at who you hang out with, I can kind of tell who you are, you know what I mean? And there's nothing truer about that statement, you know? So I don't hang out with fucking sketchy people, you know? I don't hang out with people that use drugs. I don't hang out with people that drink. I don't hang out with, you know, people pretty much in general. Reason being is because they don't have, you know, they don't have your best interests in mind, you know? There's a lot of people out there that when I was in the, you know, in the using game, and I used opiates for over a decade, and was hopelessly addicted to pain pills and opiates and anything that was in the poppy seed family. I, you know, would look at some of the people that I was around, and I knew that these people were either going to die, end up in jail, or a combination of the two. And I knew that I had to get my life right. And when the Lord delivered me from the mess that I was in, which he did, you know, I get questions sometimes. And one of the biggest questions I get is, what do I do when I think about using? Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't think about using anymore. I don't miss it. It's been over 3 years since my last relapse. I don't like daydream about, like, you know, situations where I'm getting high. I don't dream about it. I don't, you know, have any thoughts about it at all. It's to me, I'm not going to be naive and say it's a non-issue, because we're always one step away from, you know, going back to our old ways. Where, you know, sometimes I feel like people are looking for a reason to go back to using. I feel that a lot. For me, I just kind of just, you know, like, oops, that's too much. Trying to make this. I got rain on my screen. Oops. I got rain on my screen. I'm trying to get it off. I look at, you know, like situations where when I did feel like using, I've used kratom successfully. You know, it's part of my repertoire. It's part of my routine. I have the same routine that I've used for the past couple years. You know, I have the same responsibility with my animals. And, you know, one of the best things that happened to me was going to jail, you know. And I had worked at a prison, and there's nothing worse than being in jail. So when I have a couple years ago, there's some situations that happened in my life in the past 6 months, the past 9 months, that I would have definitely have gotten charges pressed on me, because I would have took things out on them in a physical way. Now I just kind of go, you know, I can't afford to, unless somebody physically like challenges me in an altercation. I know that all of this stuff is a battle of pride and ego. And I know, like, the dude at Harbor Freight that set me up and stole out of my cash register. You know, I'm not the sheriff of Hillsborough County. It's not my job to make sure that he gets paid back. I just have to keep going on with my life and, you know, doing right and stay focused on, stay focused on what's important. Well, going to the gym, feeding my animals, being here in the morning to let my dog out. I don't, I'm not a person that goes out to bars. I don't go out to nightclubs. I don't go out and drink. I don't really go out anywhere crazy after dark. I kind of do my thing and I just stay the fuck away from certain elements of people. I was in a situation a couple weeks ago. I was with a girl at the gym and we were driving. I don't forget where we were going, but she said that she was in recovery and, people say all kinds of shit, and she went to grab her purse. It was down between my legs and like 4 pill bottles like fell out on the floor of the car. And I didn't say anything about it. It's not my job to look through them. I just kind of like handed them to her. I didn't even look at them, like what was in there. And she went into this long explanation of like, oh, they're not mine. And I'm like, I don't even know what they are. You know what I mean? It's none of my business. You know what I mean? You're not my girlfriend. We're not married. We're not in a relationship. What you do with your personal time and your money and, whatever, because there are some people out there that need to take opiates because they have pain issues and they haven't, remedied them yet. And it's not my job to counsel them. You know what I mean? I think about living out in the country all the time. It's just, a matter of living out in the country. I think a lot of people think about living out in the country. And that's another thing, this, living in this fucking particular neighborhood, it's gotten a lot better. But, for people that don't live in my neighborhood, that kind of come, this isn't the worst neighborhood I've lived in. I've lived in worse ones, like in Las Vegas. I lived in a really bad neighborhood. Like they filmed cops in my neighborhood. I had like a Dr. Dre apartment. Like it literally was like an apartment complex with a fence that was 10 feet with a buzzer on it. And in the middle of the apartment complex was the pool. You know what I mean? And there was palm trees and it looked like it was something out of South Central, but it's called Sierra Vista Apartments. You can, it was on Sierra Vista. I think it was 556 Sierra Vista. But like any neighborhood, a lot of these people around here go to work. There's a lot of, there's sketchy people everywhere. I just tell people, places, and things. So this girl at the gym, nothing romantic happened or anything like that. But, you're going to come across now a couple years ago, that could have been a trigger, seeing pills and, her going, what if she said, do you want one, or do you want to get high, or whatever lingo they use, you want to get lit. Today it's like, I've come so far and transformed my life to, I lived on the street before I got in here. I, sleeping in front of a fucking Family Dollar, charging my phone outside. I've been to jail. I had lived in a office building with no electricity. I don't want anything to do with any of it. Yeah, I hear the Dana White thing a lot. I don't really see the resemblance. I mean, I think people think all bald people look alike. It's it's better than Butterbean. You know what I mean? When I was fucking fat as fuck, people used to call me Butterbean or Big Head. In my drug dealing neighborhood, I used to go to a place in Buffalo off of Fillmore, and there was a building that was pretty much an open air near the the Central Terminal in Buffalo. The Polish Center or the Farmers Market. There was a neighborhood that I used to go into, and you know, it's one of those neighborhoods. And my name was Big Head. If I went back there today, they wouldn't even recognize me. I've lost over like 70 pounds since those days. My head is still big, as you can see, but oops, I don't know why it's trying to make this a little bit more. There. Okay, that's better. My from those days, it took me so much work to get sober, and it took me so much, like, the pain of detoxing in jail. When I see people out there in the world struggling and not keeping it real, like I had to keep it real with the dude, and I just said, well, bro, you got track marks on your arms, okay? Them are fresh injection sites. You're using drugs intravenously. I'm not judging you, but I'm just, as a man to a man, I'm just going to tell you, the people that I've seen come and go from your house aren't fucking people that I would want in my house. And you just got custody of your kid. So you need to either get in a program, get into a meeting or meetings, find a sponsor. And people don't want to hear that shit. So just said, well, I've done my piece. I've said what any person in recovery should say to somebody. If you need to talk to me, I get more people that are addicted to. I got a friend at the gym. He's a sex addict. We were just talking about it today. He just lost his job and all kinds of shit, and it's all because of his sexual. I've had people lose their jobs for looking at porn on the computer. I've had people lose their marriages for looking at porn. I've had people lose stuff from gambling. I've had, we all have our vices. No one's perfect and anything like that, but you don't have to live the way that you're living. Oh, I don't feel any disrespect. I've got a pretty good sense of humor. I just, I don't want people to think that, I think sometimes people, listen, it's easier. It's like right now, my neck, I got a fucking metal cage in my neck. Like, right, I've got a fucking scar right here. They basically put a plate here in my neck with U-bolts that go like this, ratcheted in there, and then behind my neck, I've got 4 rods and like 8 screws. Right now, with the weather and the humidity, my neck is fucking sore, I could definitely use a couple Percocets. Here's the problem. Here's where the problem is. I love opiates. You know what I mean? A bottle of Percocets, 60 of them, would last me about 2.5 days. So I definitely have a problem, and I'm, kind of like up on that, What could I use that isn't in that realm of stuff? Well, I can use icy hot. I can use some aspirin. I can use a heat press. I can put a sock with some rice, dry rice in it, and put it in the microwave for a minute and 20 seconds and put it on my neck. I can stretch. I can use my kratom. I remember, I used to take a handful of pills. A handful of pills. And now I take like 1 or 2 aspirin here and there. And, I just don't think people realize that it's possible, but you have to take the steps of getting the fuck away. I say, like me, I went in like the drug witness protection program. I got rid of my phone. I moved. I cut ties. I broke up with my ex of like 2.5, 3 years, who I lived with, and cut ties with her because of her use. I don't want anything in my life that is sketchy or drug related or, and I've always said this, if it looks sketchy, it usually is sketchy. You show me the people you hang out with, the people my ex would be like, befriend, I would say, why do all your friends look like fucking tweakers? Well, because they are. Hello, you know? Oh, no, they're not, blah, blah, whatever. Um, well, it looks that way, so, you know, it looks bad. Um, I look at like the people in my life. Are they people that have goals? Are they successful people? Do they work? Do they have jobs? Are they good parents? Are they good employees? Are they good people? You know, like, like what do they do? Oh yeah, sugar. And that's the one thing I try to tell people too. That's a whole different conversation, and nobody wants to hear. You know, when I tell people about how changing my diet around has completely, you know, I was 310 pounds when I drove down here the first time, and I was so fat and out of shape that I had a conversation with myself. I was laying on a bed in Clearwater in a fucking hotel room here in Florida. And I said, God, I'm so fat that I don't think I could like take care of myself, you know, like live by myself. Cause I was gonna, you know, I was breaking up with a girl in New York and I was moving here. Well, I came home and I threw everything away. Everything in my house away and I got my juicer. I got one of my juice machines out here. I washed it off with the hose. You know, I completely just threw my life into going to the gym, and that has been my mainstay. And just, you know, eating. I only eat a couple certain foods, and I don't drink sugary fucking drinks and stuff like that. I don't drink Diet Coke. I don't drink Coke. If you go in my house, there's only water or coffee. What, do you want to go in the house because it's raining, nerd? What? My dog's all scared because of the rain. What are you doing, little nerd? So, you know, I wanted to touch base. I wanted to touch base on that. You know, you have to take yourself out of sketchy situations. You know, you have to take yourself out of you know, there's things in life that, you know, there's people in life that you might have to fucking like walk away from. You know what I mean? There's jobs, there's all kinds of things that you might have to go, I shouldn't be fucking doing any of this stuff or working with these people or whatever because of this, that, or the other thing. You know, and you don't have to be apologetic about it, you know? So, you know, when it comes to, you know, keeping it real and just being real with, you know, I have these conversations with myself. You know, I have these conversations with myself. I don't say anything to people that, you know, that I don't say to myself first and foremost. I don't have conversations with myself that I go, oh, you're doing everything right, everything's good, there's nothing that you could improve on, blah, 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 blah. No, the conversations I have with myself are, what can we do to, you know, not get as angry about this or be bitter about this or move on from this, or, you know, if I do feel like this, what can I do to change this, that, or the other thing? So I don't know. I'm kind of rambling about it, but I just kind of feel like people need to hear that things can get better. I never pictured a day where I wouldn't be fucking jiggling painkillers in my pocket, walking around. I never seen the day that, you know, when you get to, I don't know, when you get older, you ever look back on like, man, I remember, let's see, where was I at? I was working for a company in Buffalo. I'm going to take a drug test tomorrow for a job that I just got. And I remember getting a call. I was underneath the Peace Bridge that goes across to Canada. And the guy called me and said, yeah, your drug test came back inconclusive. They need you to take another one. Well, I used fake urine. and it was a DOT physical, and somehow they read through that shit, right? And they said it's either antibiotics or something fucked up your test. So I had to go back and take it, and I couldn't get sober enough long enough to pass a fucking like to get painkillers out of my system. You know what I mean? So to go and take a test, to pay my rent, to be able to, not just have that burden of waking up in the fucking morning and having to use pills to feel normal or to be able to move. Like with pain pills, it got so bad, and people that are addicted to pain pills know you're not doing anything in the morning. You're not doing anything at all until you get your pain pills in you. You can't move. You could barely make your bed and take a shower. You have no energy. You feel like you're wearing cement boots. It's the worst feeling in the world. When I detoxed off of painkillers in jail, cold turkey, and I mean, I was vomiting, I was shitting my pants, I was sick, I was throwing up, everything, okay? For like 3 or 4 days, and it probably took over 40 days to get that shit out of my system. So, same thing with Suboxone. I know people that use Suboxone. I know people have gotten high using Suboxone. I've never used Suboxone to get high, so I don't know what that's like. But I know that was a bitch to get off of. I got off of gabapentin, my antidepressants, all of that shit using Kratom. And this shit changed my life. And that's why you're not allowed to talk about shit like that on here, because Big Pharma is paying people off to lie about it, and just like everything else, but that shit definitely, for me personally, I'm not anybody else, I'm just speaking from my own experience. I have enough pain in my body just residually that if I was a normal person and painkillers weren't a problem, I would probably need to take about probably anywhere from 2 to 6 painkillers a day, and I don't have to do that at all now with the plant stuff. So I touched briefly on the Trump thing. I'm already over on time. I touched briefly on the Trump thing. I think people are living in a delusion to think that anybody in the world is going to fucking help you. The only people that are going to help you is you. Only you have your best interests in mind. I've been watching the president since Ronald Reagan was in office, and nothing has changed. These people are just fucking puppets. They're not going to do anything. This whole thing is engineered to be what it is. And I'm not saying it's not a simulation or anything like that, because this is real life. But there's definitely things that are happening and that are going to happen that, biblical type things that are, unfortunately, that continue to happen. And there's no way out of it, So for me, in the Bible, it says to be sober and be vigilant. Well, when you talk to some of these people, after watching whatever the fuck that was, I call it a bad action movie. Whatever's going on today in the world is not of God, okay? With this making kids want to put makeup on, and blah, blah, blah. When I was a kid, that shit was called mental illness, because that's what it is, or demonic possession. Nobody is born that wants to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to apologize for that or for my viewpoints on what the fuck that is about. If you're a grown-ass man and you want a vagina, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't make a difference to me. I wish there were more gay men out there in the world, so there'd be more women that needed men. Here's the lightning. Just the whole thing with the masks, seeing people drive around wearing fucking masks, just seeing the iniquity. Sounds like a mortgage term, but it's not. the iniquity in this world today. The how people are just so in love with themselves, and people like you know, you watch the UFC and it's like everybody's like fucking just so desperate for fame and fortune, you know. It's just disgusting, the shit I see. Like, I was just going through, like, if you really want to get triggered, go through the fucking YouTube shorts of people filming themselves. And I can't tell you how many times it's a girl with her shorts up the crack of her ass, and she's like bent over showing the world her camel toe, but she's pretending she's doing a yoga pose and showing how flexible she is. And it's like, it's just so fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like, I was walking by a store in the mall, and the filthy music that was coming out of the store, it was just disgusting. And there were two little kids, and then there was a mom with her like 3-year-old, and the girl singing "My pussy, my crack, my this, my that," you know, and all this shit, all this filth. And it's just like, you know, I don't know, man. You know, it's just straight up, it's just straight up like, you know, it's evil, you know, like the music, the agenda. You can't talk about things on here, or you're, you know, labeled and your channel's taken away or whatever the fuck. You can't say anything. I have nothing against people of, you know, whatever sexual proclivities they want to get involved with. That's up to them. As long as you're not hurting children or animals, you're going to answer to God. You don't have to answer to me. I don't give a fuck what you do. I got 2 gay dudes that live next door. I talk to them all the time. You know, I'm not going over in the hot tub with them or anything. I mean, as of yet, they haven't invited me. You know, I just, this world, there's nothing in this world. The world has nothing to offer me. There's nothing in the world that I want. You know what I mean? I don't want to be fucking Joe Rogan on podcasts. You know, I just see the corniness of everything, and the ego and the narcissism. It's like everything is like American Idol on steroids. Everybody's like just a shameless self-promoter, and the bullshit that people talk. And, you know, you got Navy SEALs on here pretending to have killed bin Laden, and guys bragging about this and that. And, you know, I don't know, man. I just get so frustrated with the world. I just, you know, you see fucking, like, the world makes a big deal about Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck is Taylor Swift? Like, what has she done, you know, in her life that's so like groundbreaking and mesmerizing that, you know? But we worship these people, you know, people worship these people, like the guys in Kiss. You know, like I was watching just a random thing. It just came on in the middle of the night, and I was talking to one of the guitar players, Ace Frehley. You know, just a fucking complete burnout. He's talking about like this, that, and the other thing, and people are in the comments like, "Oh, you changed my life. You saved my life." Listen, if fucking Ace Frehley saved your life, then you really weren't having that many fucking problems. Howdy, sir. If Ace Frehley saved your life, you weren't having fucking problems, you know? I don't watch television. There's nothing on television. There's nothing, like, I don't know, man. Like, I see some of these previews for movies, and it's just like, it's the same movie over and over and over. It's the same music video over and over and over. We have maxed out, okay, our creative potential. Now we're not even being creative. You know, it's like there was a time when Adam Sandler was good. It's like he has like made movies where I swear to God, when they were writing the movie, he just got up from writing it and just said, "You guys finish it." That's how these movies look to me. You know, I'm just so disgusted with the media. You know, I don't know how people watch the news. I don't know how people watch the news. This whole Trump thing, like I said, looked like a bad action movie. It's just disturbing. Joe Biden's disturbing. the White House, the whole like thing is like, it's like keeping up with the Kardashians. What the fuck are we doing? Why do we care about the drama of these two? I want to see like your timesheet. Like, what the fuck did you two do today? You know, like what did any of these people, Democrat or Republican, what did you do today with your day? Like, you know, like an accountability timesheet. I got to fill out a timesheet. What did you do today? You know, like what the fuck are you doing, any of you, for the people of America? Absolutely nothing, okay? This whole fucking government system is complete trash. It's all based on ancient Rome. No successful Fortune 500 company would change a fucking CEO every 4 years and be successful. You know, we just live in this world where the spirit of the world is just, people are just, I don't know, man. People just, I don't know how people like meet people or want to date people or fucking are in. I don't know how, like, I'm 45 years old. There's no female that I could meet as of right now, like as of now and whatever, that I'm even interested in. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care whatever. I have no interest in talking to you. I don't even have the emotional wherewithal to talk to somebody about that shit. Thank you, Sarah. Trump 24, yeah. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that was sent from, you know, that God sent Trump to rescue us and stuff. And, you know, good luck with that. Trump is just another puppet used by the system. You know, you know, the guy is. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if I just have a high level of street smarts or a street IQ or whatever. I know when people are full of shit. That guy's full of shit. Biden's full of shit. Sarah's full of shit. You know, like Sarah's the type of person that will say your language is horrible. But I guarantee you, Sarah, if I looked at your internet search history, I'm pretty sure some of the things you were watching Friday night, late at night, when your boyfriend was at work, are, you know, maybe you're, you know, could be a little bit borderline, you know, horrible too. You know what I mean? So if you're worried about, and the same people that complain about language or something silly like that, if you don't like the way I talk, I mean, I don't remember calling you up and saying, hey, can you watch this video? I'm sure you have a whole, I wanted to say DVDs, but people don't have DVDs anymore. I'm sure you have a whole bunch of movies that have nothing but the F word, filth situations in there that you probably don't want to watch in front of kids, but are rated for kids, and the music you listen to. So, if anything, you know, you're probably a hypocrite, you know what I mean? But I appreciate you, you know, feeling the wherewithal to tell me that, you know what I mean? And if you think my language is bad now, you should have seen it before. Yeah. Go to church, yeah. You probably go to one of those churches that they tell you about God wants you to be successful, and you know, one of those Joyce Meyer's churches with the praise band with 40 people in it, and you go to, you strike me as the type of person that probably goes to, now I might be wrong, but you kind of strike me as the type of person that probably goes to one of those candy ass mega churches. I went to this church in Buffalo called the Chapel, right? There's like 2,000 people in this church, like at a service, like 1,100 people in a service, okay? I'm playing in the band. I'm playing in the praise and worship band at the church, right? They're paying the praise and worship director like $800 to $1,000 a week, and the guy is like incompetent, like musically. And I had a situation come up where I needed something fixed on my car, or I wasn't going to be able to get to band practice for the next probably 2 Sundays, or they were gonna, or if they could find somebody filling. You know, the church has a thing where they will give you money to whatever to help you, right? Well, do you want to hear? You want to hear something funny about this church? Okay. They go, well, we looked up your records of your offering. Okay, this is hilarious. We looked up the records of your offering, and you haven't given enough. Haven't given us enough. You haven't given us enough money for us to lend you money. And I said, oh, like a bank? I go, is that what it says in the Bible? To look and go, hey, when Jesus seen the people out there and they were like in need of something, he went, well, last time, the favor you did me, like, no, that's not what it says. You know what I mean? Like people, I don't know, like, I don't know. And you probably go to a church that thinks that Trump was sent by God. Trump is the white knight. Everybody is, he's going to get America back on track. Well, if you're paying attention to your Bible, okay, and you look in the book of Revelations, nothing in the Bible says that America is going to be great again. In fact, it says in the Bible that America and the world will fall and it will fail. So, and the only person that's coming into the world is going to be the Antichrist. So I don't know where with the beginning of the sorrows and the beginning of the tribulation, pre-tribulation, where all this stuff starts happening with the vaccine, climate change, UFOs, earthquakes, fires, this, that, and the other thing, and no other time in history has all this shit happened since I've been around. And it says, oh, by the way, one great nation will have this great leader that God has decided to put on a pedestal. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So good luck with your Trump thing. FX. I don't know. It kind of sounds familiar. They're able to do so many things, like you're saying, with the graphics and AI, and take people's voices and make them say things that they didn't say, and da 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 da, and with this fake alien fallen angel agenda that they're going to be projecting on us any day now. There's so many things he was seen with that gauze pad on the opposite side of the ear. Yeah, I believe it. Listen, man, I've cut my ear like just trimming ear hair, okay? I've cut my ear, and the shit doesn't stop bleeding, I just know that everything with, I believe that AI is going to be it is part of the beast system. It's going to be used because what do we do? The computer is really modeled after God. The closest thing to a computer is God. We're so programmed literally to ask Google this or that when they do go online with this satanic system that they're going to use, it will probably be a female, and they're going to use it, and they're going to claim that it's an alien and that we've been in touch with them the whole time, and that they're here to help. And when you're using AI, it's actually coming off planet, whatever the fucking sci-fi technology word they want to use to make it sound like they've been to outer space. They're going to plan it to make it sound this, that, and the other thing, and it's been so trustworthy and it wants to help us, but they're going to use AI is going to cost millions of people. If it hasn't already, it's going to cost millions of people their lives. Like I don't see the AI thing being good at all. You know what I mean? Oh, I got a potentially inappropriate message held for you can make them public. Okay, got it. I don't know how to review your message. Yeah, the lawnmower man. That was a weird movie. You go back to the movie They Live, what is he telling us? Just what the Bible's saying, that the fallen angels and demonic possession realm and the whatever are all in powers and principalities. So God's told us that they're in power already. The world doesn't, the world, I don't know, man. I just don't know how people believe. I just don't know how people, the Bible also says, trust no man. It makes it pretty clear. Okay. There has never been a good leader for anywhere. Okay. There has never been a good president. There never will be a good president. You know what I mean? And I'm somebody that used to vote, and I used to believe in the political system. I don't anymore. I don't. It's all, why do we have all these satanic symbols at the White House of a New World Order? We got a reflecting pool that's reflecting as above, so below, the dualistic ideological bullshit of the New World Order, of these Luciferian Shriners, Freemasons, Skull and Bones. All of that shit used to sound crazy to me till I started going, well, the God of this world is Lucifer. So one nation under God isn't the God of the Creator that made us and Adam and Eve. It's the God of this world. And that's why they're always communicating, like them movies that you were talking about, Lawnmower Man. But the thing is, you've got 9 or 10 people watching, only maybe 2 out of 9 are going to know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of people that believe in outer space. There's a lot of people that believe that, they went in and grabbed bin Laden in some movie, snatch and grab thing. There's a lot of people that believe that what happened to Trump was actually what happened, and there could be no room for error. You know what I mean? Or there could be no way that could be a false flag. There's just no conceivable way that Building 7 fell down for no reason, Well, I'm here to tell you, the government isn't your friend. That was 3090. You're lost, Beyonce. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I know this. I'm not going to be signing up for any trips to Mars in the near future. And listen, I used to be a person, if anybody was a sucker for outer space, okay? If anybody was an outer space moron, it's this guy right here. You know what I mean? Like if anybody believed, I got a tattoo of a fucking rocket on my arm, okay? I just find it funny. I find it funny now because I remember what it was like to believe. I really thought at one time that I was going to be able to go to Mars. I was like super stoked about it, Now I realize that they never went to the moon, and we're going to get into a whole fucking debacle. But, there's people that, people that believe that they're up there in a space station doing somersaults, and there's wires and shit in this $40 billion fucking thing. There's wires all sticking around outside of the thing. Like, what if you trip over one of them wires and you pull a fucking wire out of its, whatever it's called, a connector piece or whatever? I don't know. People believe what they want to believe. Yeah, I kind of feel like some of the I kind of feel like some of the stuff, like the forest fires, like the blue roof thing and all of that shit. I kind of feel like some of that stuff, like Biden was heard saying, oh, should we take out the blue roof stuff, because people's houses didn't burn. I kind of feel like some of this stuff is injected into conspiracies and they're not even conspiracies at this point. No one went to the fucking moon. No one. I mean, there's so many of them that are, don't. I mean, I just wouldn't even know where to start. No one's going to outer space. No one's been to outer space. No one's going to Antarctica. It's like Area 51. I was watching. I think, man, I used to waste so much time on Area 51. Yeah, well, and the funny thing is when I looked at the Statue of Liberty as a child, I said, man, that's a weird looking dude, like Obama's husband, I mean, wife. That's a weird looking dude, what is that about? But yeah, there's always a dualistic meaning for all of it. You know what I mean? The Empire State. Empire of what? The Empire Strikes Back? Well, the Roman Empire. It's just people want to hold on to this. People want to hold on to legit history. I don't know what that one. World. I'm not sure 100% on the NASA being Hebrew for whatever. I don't know if that's 100% true. I'm not saying it's not. I just have never verified that, you know what I mean? And I would like to verify it through somebody that doesn't know and not using the internet, like, kind of just full of Jewish guy at the gym or something. I'm not saying you're wrong. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, they tell you about, like, here's kind of what I see, like Area 51, Antarctica. They tell you about these areas because it's like the red herring in the James Bond movie. You know what I mean? They want you to be duped into thinking about Area 51. They want you to think that there's shit going on there when there's probably, well, not probably, but there's shit going on right underneath your nose. Antarctica, the only place that you're not allowed to visit. Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, and listen, Satan and his minions. These fallen angels have been around for thousands of years. They know every trick in the book. They know all about technology. They know how to dupe humans. They were starting that Antarctica bullshit well before the flat Earth theory came out. Well, I mean, after it was forgotten. They were starting that in the 40s with Charles Bird, that one Mormon moron discoverer, Charles Bird or whatever, Admiral Byrd, and there's all kinds of, the Nazis were down there, and man, they know how to make a good, it's like Roswell. They know how to write stuff in a gossipy type, insidious way of making you be able to go, oh, it wasn't a UFO. Wait, it was a UFO. They said it was a UFO. No, they said it was a weather balloon. Just enough to kind of get you fucked up about it. And that's what liars do. No, I mean, there's definitely truth online. You just can't. You have to kind of wonder sometimes, why are they telling you the truth on something? Like, hello? Hello, little nerd. Sorry. What's in it for them? Sure, you have to have some truth sprinkled in there or it would all be lies and you wouldn't watch it. But I'm just like this. The technology that I'm using right now is not from Jesus Christ. It's not from God. Okay? The television is not from God. The internet, what's a net? Worldwide web. What's a web? A web of deceit, a net. The words are planet, they planned it, I mean, airplane. Like the shit is like hidden in plain sight so many times that the lies, the truth and the lies are so, like, there's so many lies that, yeah, they're going to get you some. But when they when they tell you something good, say it's like, oh, we found a real dinosaur and Monster Island exists. Why are they telling you that? Well, it's usually because something is out there that they are trying to keep your, like the Johnny Depp thing. Yeah, that's one of my little babies. Thank you, sir, James. Yeah, I seen that Germanism guy a long time ago. I didn't like him. What the designer said about the. Yeah, I'll look up the Statue of Liberty thing. I forgot all about it. I haven't forgotten all about it. One of the newer things that I came across, and I'll leave you guys with this because you'll see this everywhere. The blue and white Mary, okay, with the baby, okay? Well, the blue and white is the Jesuit colors, And why is Mary with the baby there, okay? Well, because it's Mary and the baby. But where is Joseph? What? Meow. What? I'll give you a treat in a minute. Look at all these nerds here. Oh, you want catnip? Okay. Okay, this is my favorite baby. Yes, it is. This is my little grump. You my little grump? Here. Oh. Come on. Okay, hold on. Here. Come on, get down. Tommy. Orange. All right. Yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. So, okay, Mary, the baby, but there's no Joseph. Well, what I came to see and the Holy Spirit revealed to me through, I forget the name of the pastor, man, off the top of my head, I forget his name. Oh, I gotta go to bed here pretty soon. It's not Mary. It's not Mary and the baby. It's Nimrod's wife and the son they made through incest. That's why there's no Joseph. And that's why you see that everywhere, and their son is supposed to be, they were trying to birth an antichrist, you know what I mean? So, and here's the other thing I was thinking about. Nimrod, existed. He built the Tower of Babel, Mason, Freemason, all that bullshit. Well, the lineage, right, of his son, like, I wonder what, that's probably got to be, and this is just me thinking right now, Nimrod's offspring is probably one of those families, one of those 12 families. So, all right, guys, I've been on here a minute. Spell casting and all of that nonsense, and what are you doing, Big Orange? Look how big these fucking leaves are. Well, Sarah, I appreciate you watching. I hope everything works out at your Trump rally. And it's good to see God protected him. Everybody that's watched and, either participated. I wasn't planning on talking about all this crazy stuff, but we did. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go to bed. I got to get up early in the morning. I got to take a drug test for a new job. And, Facebook, YouTube had, suspended me for a minute. So I'm just letting you know I'm back on here and, I'll be able to post regularly. So James Charles, mental pancakes. Your JRGS. I'm lost beyond saving. Thank you, Sarah, with her cat, praying for you. Your language is horrible. Luigi scratching their balls. Keith. Sweetbread. All you people that, know the truth. And those of you that don't, I do pray that one day you're able to come to know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And like I said, he delivered me from 10 years of opiates, on the verge of suicide, and numerous other things. So I'm going to let you guys go with that, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again. God bless you. If I could figure out this.